Thanks a lot for staying with us here on Prime One, and it's time for us to get into News Flash, and you can get interactive with us. Our WhatsApp line is active. We're also streaming live on Facebook. You can also join us over there and share your thought with us here on the show. A big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phones Papa, and that's where you can get all your quality phones and gadgets, and it's about Samsung, Nokia, iPhone, the place you need to get them. It's Franco Trading Enterprise. And also CCTV cameras, we've got them for you as well. The refrigerators, air conditionings, you can buy microwaves from us as well. And so please do well and walk into one of our branches. Call us on the numbers you see on your screens and talk to us. You can also download the app. It's the Franco Trading app on Google Play Store. Our website is www.francotrading.com. And that's where you can also get all the info that you need. Franco Trading Enterprise has got some very quality products, very affordable as well. Quality, but affordable. So please do walk into our branches and make a purchase. And we're grateful to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning for bringing us News Flash. We're getting to the front page of the newspapers. My guests are seated. We've got about 3 issues that we'll be looking at. An update on galamsey. Erastus is making some updates. We're going to be finding out exactly what that's all about. And also, we'll take a look at the ongoing decongestion exercise, which started yesterday. The mayor of Accra, Mr. The Honorable himself, Alote, has decided that he's going to get rid of the people off the pavement. Yesterday, it started. Progressively, we'll be looking at what is happening today. And then also, we've got some update for you on the issue of President Mahama, who is actually admitted that he inherited, or his government inherited, over nearly $9 billion US dollars of reserve. We'll be looking at that also here on the show this morning. But my guests are in. Richard Suma is here with me, as always. He's a leading member of the Movement for Change, Afafranto. Yesterday, coincidentally, myself and a senior came in having colors of Afafranto all over us. But I was Afafranto and the senior came in all yellow.
Oh, that's one.
Yes.
Good news this morning.
So it looks like we are aligning, eh?
Oh, yeah. We look for more alignment. We look for more alignment.
But I hope you're good, my brother.
Yeah. By grace, we are all doing great.
Thank you. I'm grateful for your time this morning. Also joining us this morning, Raymond Edem Tamekloe. He's joining us here. He's from the Government Communications Office, the NDC. Ray, everything good?
Senior, everything is fine. Good morning to you and good morning to our cherished viewers.
Great, thanks, and I'm grateful for your time this morning as well. We'll also be joined by Awal Mohammed, and it comes across like Awal is always late. He will not admit it when he comes here. Don't worry, I'll give him pepper when he comes here. And I'm sure today he will admit that he's always the latecomer amongst us. Well, but he'll be joining us this morning. He's also be representing the NPP. Now, let me go on the front page of the newspapers briefly, and then we'll come back to take a look at our issues. Now, Daily Graphic this morning says, nation risk more revenue losses, tech-led tax systems, key experts at National Dialogue says so, and break short-term development planning cycle. President charges NDPC. Ghana Card blocks prison graduates from national service. Inmate appeal to Parliament to intervene. Page 13 has got a story on that. You can read about it. And the local government minister cautions public against Boko conflict commentaries. And page 38 has got a story on that. The issue of Boko and what we can actually do to stop it. You remember that the Otumfor was supposed to have had both sides come for some meetings and all that at Menchia. Unfortunately, it didn't happen because it had to be postponed. We're still hoping that that conversation happens, since he's decided that he wants to take this up and ensure that there's peace in Boko. We all want peace in Boko, so it's something that we all heavily support. Now, at the back page, it says AMA Kukma begin the decongestion exercise in Accra, and we've got some updates that we'll be giving to you on that as well. The Ghanaian Times is here this morning. It says, getting rid of street beggars, uphold children's right, dignity. And Mr. Bright Appiah has been speaking on that. And also, Times Needy Fund. Yesterday, I mentioned it. Today, too, I'm mentioning as well. If you can help, why not? Let's make the world a better place. And let's all donate to save the lives of many people, again, especially those who are in need. And that's the Ghanaian Times of this morning. Now, away from that, Ghana committed to reform the business environment. President Mahama says so. Venture Capital Trust Fund invest 359.6 million Ghana cedis in 20 years. That's the Ghanaian Times. The back page, stakeholders discuss sustainable aviation fuels, and Ghana Health Service partners with media in Gambaga to prevent cholera outbreak. That's the Ghanaian Times this morning. Daily Justice here, and it says VIP returning in 3 days' time after 2 months treatment abroad. That's a story on the Vice President, Professor Nana Jinopoku-Agyemang. We believe that she's supposed to return in 3 days, and we continue to wish her a speedy recovery. We are not perfect, says Dr. Baumia, page 4. He's got a story on that in the Daily Gist. And gold board tax to chart new path in gold trading. Minority government clash of Adumso, and CJ probe committee rejects live coverage. That's the Daily Gist. The Punch is here, and take precautionary measures to prevent floods. PWAC CEO advises, and Eugene Amo Asamoah Wingstop Prize at Millennium Excellence Awards. Open the doors to dignity. It is backward to keep public washrooms under lock and key. And also, Achima Awambiaga, South MCE, disappointed with prevailing condition at his office. And Dr. Adichim has not endorsed any flag bearer hopeful. Spokesperson says so. Cizo Fusu Echampon receives unanimous endorsement as Offenso North DCE. You know the battle that has come with this MCE and DCE. They will nominate this person, appoint the person. The people say no, they will fight and all of that, but gradually we'll get there. We'll have all of these positions filled, and so they can also contribute in helping the government achieve its mandate. Now, away from that, the Accra Times is here. It says the governing board of Gold Board inaugurated help Mahama to reset Ghana's economy at forcing says so. And away from that, Bill South DCE pays working visit to key agencies, and Nation mourns former Council of State member as Paula Foko pays glowing tribute to a late dad, describes him as a man of many titles. And energy sector wahala, minority tax minister to tackle fuel supply to IPPs urgently. And good news for fuel tanker drivers. NPA boss promises conditions of service. Sometimes about 3 years ago, they decided to go on strike, and you should see the repercussions of that. And so whenever the fuel tanker people come up and they, bring their concerns a bit, we want to take attention to it, because really, if these people go on strike, it means that distribution of fuel becomes a problem. Anyway, I see another focal, a remarkable grandchildren. That's also captured by the Accra Times. Away from that, the Ghanaian publisher is also speaking on the issue of beggars. CRI blast GIS over ruthless beggars swoop, and that is the Ghana immigration conducted a swoop that they actually put together many of the beggars on the streets. They were trying to get them off the streets, and so some concerns have been raised with regards to this, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons why many people have also decided that they want to take a look at that issue. So to forcing charges Gold Board to anchor economic transformation. Ayariga condemns gruesome murder of NHIA director, and also dinner with petitioner's lawyer. Citizen demands dissolution of CJ committee, but rubbishes claim. And it's got Mr. Thaddeus, one of the most renowned lawyers, and this man has got a lot that is contributed in this dispensation when it comes to our legal space. And so that's the Ghanaian publisher, and it will be the last one for me this morning. And I would want to use that to also say a good morning and welcome to my dear brother Awal Mohammed, who today would have to admit that he's the official late comer of his bench. Awal, do you accept?
Well, even today Sheila said I have come early.
Yes.
But ask him.
You did well.
Because he will come early. And,
well, you should be grateful to the newspapers this morning for delaying us a bit.
By 6:15, I should be here.
That's a promise.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yes.
Okay. That comes in, I know that
But I say God willing.
Anyway, I'm grateful for your time this morning as well. So, we'll be looking at these issues. Now, yesterday, I'm sure most of you followed the conversation. We'll also be looking at the issue of the decongestion exercise. Yesterday, we had a lot of talks around it here on the show. Today, we'll be doing same. And then the update on galamsey as well, we'll be looking at it. Now, the convener for Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Engineer Kenashibe, has been speaking on this. In fact, he says that it's very worrying where we are right now, and we risk actually losing the fight against galamsey entirely if we don't make certain decisions, drastic decisions now. We'll be looking at that also here. And Mahama also admitting that he inherited about nearly $9 billion US dollars from the past government. So since it's a progressive, conversation in terms of the decongestion exercise, let's take a look at it. Let me take your remarks, and then a bit later we'll bring some update on that. I'll start off with you, Richard.
Yeah, KMJ.
You followed it yesterday?
Yeah, I saw snippets of the news about the decongestion exercise. I sincerely only laughed over it because I know it's an exercise in futility. It's a complete waste of time.
Oh.
Because, you see, we are talking about consistency and sustenance. This is not the first time any mayor of Accra...
And that is the promise of the mayor. He's promised that he's going to sustain this.
He cannot. You see, let us be candid when we are having some of these conversations and know that it is an exercise in futility. It cannot be sustained. It cannot be sustained.
Why not? Other countries have done it. Why can't we do it?
You see, the hypocrisy, the bureaucracy, the lack of political will, how people always want to take advantage of situations and capitalize on it in the name of political power and all these things and satisfying the whims and caprices of our followers. This is what normally causes all this sort of our inability to sustain some of these things. You see, you cannot be doing the same thing over and over again and expect new results, okay? Since the days of J.J. Rawlings, have you not been decongesting gutters? Have you not been... When there's flood, we go and do this. Have you not been clearing people on the pavement after a period of 6 months, 3 months? Massive. It has not even gotten to a year before. They come back to the same place. So who are you fooling? Are you fooling me or you are fooling yourselves? So we must be candid. To me, there
can't be one person who would be very resolute in saying that, you know what, I want to achieve this and I want to see it.
Let me tell you.
Probably even do it for the next 4 years.
Let me tell you. The influences, the machinations from above, and public opinion, and when it gets to the state where everybody is talking about NDD on compassionate grounds and all this, people will always go back there. And let me tell you, these activities of the mayor, it is an IGF budget. It's an IGF budget. So how long would they be using their internal generated fund to decongest and to sustain? And Ghana, let me tell you that the indiscipline of their people is above the roof. Okay? So if you are talking about sustenance, that means you have to put man guards everywhere that you want to stop the selling on the street or congestion on the pavement. That means you must put manpower there every blessed day.
We can't do that if we have to.
Do you have the resources to finance them? Are they on government payroll? Or they are on IGF by the assembly. So if they are on IGF by the assembly, how long is that person going to sustain it? So that's why I'm saying to you that they'll start nicely today. Okay? What didn't we see when the June 4th disaster came? What didn't we see? When Okwe-Vandapo was the mayor, what didn't we see? Even during the NPP administration, what didn't the mayor attempted to do to decongest Accra?
Henry Cote started the same thing as the regional minister.
Even Henry Cote as a minister, look at the bravado he was working with. Look at the kind of audacity he was working with against all odds, stepping on toes. Yes, so he wanted to do the right thing, but was it sustained? It wasn't sustained. So sometimes when somebody comes to you and say, well, I'm doing it, we are going to sustain it, give the person just 12 months. 12 months, I bet my last penny that what they have started today, if they can sustain it for just 12 months, not even 12 months, we are in May. If they can sustain it to December, then I'll give them a thumb up. I'll clap for them. I'll take off my clothes and run on the street of Accra because they've been able to sustain something for 6 months, which I obviously know they cannot do it because the willpower is not there.
Okay. Honorable Nati also mentioned the same thing, that if you're able to make it past 31st of December, he's also going to give them thumbs up. I come to Ray, but let me find out. Wow. Do you also believe that they'll be able to cross 31st December? You're also going to give them thumbs up if they're able to do so?
I just don't want to be pessimistic because I think there might be someone who will be able to really do something. But you see, the problem, as I share in what Richard said, is that the sustainability of the exercise. Because yesterday I was with him on Joy News, and your reporter was on the ground.
Yeah, James.
And yes, when they started, and I was saying that, well, we saw what happened when Oko van der Poy came and said he wanted to make Accra the Millennium City. He did all the decongestions. But at a point in time, it was reported that President Mills asked him to stop because he was stepping on toes. You remember when later President Mills came to say that, well, he didn't say that. But it was not sustained. Just after President Mills came to say that, well, I didn't say that, he should continue what he's doing. The decongestion stopped. And again, we saw this regional minister. He came, started doing it, went to the Ramsey side. At a point in time, going to
the Onion place.
Exactly. Today,
all those places.
Today, I'm told they are back.
Yeah.
When we lost the elections, even though that was sustained, because that place was still cleared until 31st of December, when after the handing over, I'm told the scrap dealers are back and they are there. So if this mayor wants us to take him seriously, he should go and clear that place first. That's very important because someone has been able to clear the place and the people are back. And they are back because they think their government is in power. So if the mayor wants us to take him very seriously, he should go there and clear the Agugulushi area, so that at least government, it will pave way for government to do something over there. That is one. Two is that.
Okay, you wrap up on it.
Seeing him yesterday, yes, seeing him yesterday with the city guards,
yeah,
I felt disappointed because I wanted to see the police enforcing. Because you see, you can still get the city guards to join so that they can be confiscating the wares and so on. But you see, if the police is not there, the city guards mostly are party people that you run with. So if they know this woman is a woman organizer in Kolekolote or any other place, how can that person be able to really enforce it? But when you have the police, the people themselves are afraid of the police there because they know the police will do that. I learned that the regional minister is saying that those who cross the line should be charged 2,000 cedis. That will be another issue because a lot of people might go to jail. Because those you see there selling, some don't even have up to 1,000 cedis as their startup cash. So if you arrest them over there with water or anything, and you are asking the person to pay 2,000 cedis because the person is selling on a pavement, there is a high possibility that a lot of the market women will go to jail. So you see, the thing is that not the sustainability, but where are you sending them to? It's also very important. Some people have been selling for the last 20 years, 30 years. You send them, they will come back. So are you preparing a place where you will get them to sell? Or you just want to decongest and leave them, and for them to leave the pavement? So that is the reason you saw yesterday someone was saying that, well, we've been here for the last 20 years. We've been here for the last 80 years. At least we did not get anything. The Abaye people will come, they will ask us to go, and we'll come back again. So if you go and decongest the area, ask them to go, and later they come back, because you do not have a place for them. That is the reason they will still come back. Get a place for them. And when they come back, then you can enforce the penalty of 2,000 cedis, as the regional minister said. But if you're saying these women, Some have like 600, 500, 400 cedis selling, and you are telling us that you send them to court to be charged 2,000 cedis. A lot of them will go to jail.
Okay, we'll get back to it again, but maybe I'll take the remarks of Ray as well. Ray,
yes,
it looks like everything is against this, decongestion exercise.
Yes, so once again, good morning to our viewers. Now, I share in the concerns of my brothers this morning, but the points must be made very clear. Once people are clothed with the authority to enforce laws, those laws at all costs must be enforced.
Yeah.
The fact that some of these things, the wrongs that have been continued to be perpetrated in society, has been glossed over, does not necessarily make those the norm. Those practices are not the norm. We understand and we concede that people and persons have the need to engage in commercial activities. But the point of the matter is that you cannot pursue those commercial activities and interests in the middle of the road or on the pedestrian walkways. And if that has persisted for a long period of time and law enforcers have not been able to enforce the law, where there is change in leadership, there must be a certain recommitment. Yes, they have said that over the years, there's been change of leadership and different peoples have come to try to tackle the issue. It has not worked. But this time, once there is a change, and the point must also be made that that is the point or the importance of democracy itself. If we give up our hands or throw our hands in despair and say that the potentials or deliverables of democracy has not been achieved, should we entirely collapse democracy? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because we say we are practicing democracy for well over many years, but the deliverables, the potentials of democracy, we have not been able to attain the full aspirations of that democracy. But it does not necessarily mean that the democracy must come on its knees or it must be collapsed entirely. And so if there's a certain norm that continues to be perpetrated in society and has not been dealt with, and a certain new leadership recommits to addressing those challenges in society, we must give all the support that we can as citizens to ensure that the right things are done in our society. The issue that has to do with sustainability, the ability of those of the assembly or the municipality or whatever the case may be to raise enough funds to be able to sustain this action, that is a valid point. The political will must be there for me, I think. And I do think that...
You think your party has...
Yeah, exactly. I do think that the NDC administration and the president has that commitment. And whatever collaboration is needed to make sure that there's a certain sustenance of this drive, we must do it. If we have to collaborate with the market leaders, the transport union leaders, and all the stakeholders to fashion out ways and means to ensure that this drive, this initiative is sustained, I can assure our viewers this morning that those means are going to be explored and this action and initiative is going to be sustained.
Okay. We'll take a look at it a bit later when we have our reporter on the ground so we can have a look at what is happening today on that issue. Now, we're going to move on and speak on the issue of galamsey, which has become one of the not so interesting conversation you want to have. I mean, really, if you talk about galamsey, each and every day you make one progress, we go backwards like twice or three times, and it doesn't look like we're ever going to get to the bottom of this. Now, this is what Erastus updated with regards to some of the areas that the operations have been going on. It says this is a registered underground small-scale mining operation. The regional security liaison officer sent his men to take over because he suspected they were not licensed. Now, the men who he put there as national security operatives were later arrested by the Bekwai police after they were caught mining. All they mined was seized by the police. After investigations, it was established that the Chinese who were arrested had the necessary documentation to be there, and the mine had a license. Now, this morning, several armed men have again been dispatched to the same mine to take over. The men claim the owner of the mine is NPP, so they are seizing his mine to be given to NDC young men. They claim they have been sent by the Regional Security Liaison Officer. Is that how you take over somebody's property? If the National Security thinks there's an illegality, why not allow the Minerals Commission to do its job? What is the interest of national security in the Agata Chiasso mine? And that's the latest that he posted yesterday. We've been joined by Erastus this morning. Let me see if we can engage him a bit. Erastus, good morning. How are you doing, my brother? Okay, I understand that we don't have Erastus on the line at this moment. So as the one we're able to raise him, we'll definitely engage him a bit and find out what's the latest on this one. And, oh, wow.
Yes, when you said the latest on galamsey, I just quickly went to Erastus' Facebook page to see the update there. I saw it last night, and it's disturbing because this is not the first time Erastus is reporting about Captain Retired Jabari, the Ashanti Regional Security Liaison Officer. You remember Captain Jabari came to really grant interview to Joy News in Accra here and said, well, they've taken over all the forest reserves. Erastus came to say that is not true. That is a lie because there are some that are still there. And you see, the first allegation of drip machines found its way into these places. Still the same Captain Jabari and his two deputies for the first time in the history of the region or the country. You have two deputies to Regional Security Liaison Officer. We didn't even have a deputy. When NDC was in power, it was Kojoma for that broadcaster's father, who was the security liaison officer. Now you have a security liaison officer. You have two deputy security liaison officers. What do you expect them to do? They'll go and engage in galamsey. This is not the first time they are also seizing a concession. Last week, we were here when Erastus reported the same thing, that they went and they said national security had asked them to take over a concession. Today, they are taking over another concession again. So what is their interest? What are they doing? Are they there to do galamsey, or they are there to protect the water bodies and the forest reserves? I am disturbed. This is a region I come from. You understand? And if really the effect of galamsey is happening over there, it affects my family. And it affects myself because I go every weekend. You understand? So I think the president must crack the whip. They must just check the activities of Captain Jabari, the Ashanti Regional Security Liaison Officer. Because this is not the first time he's saying that. They take over a concession, then the national security will cordon off the place, and they go inside and start doing galamsey there. Why? And this is someone who has registered his company, doing his work. You go, you take over. You said they are doing some illegality. After taking over, the person goes to present his documents and so on. At his blind side, you've sent your boys there to do galamsey. Why?
Well, we're still hoping that he will come and clear this. I'm sure Erastus will be able to give us some updates on that in terms of what he is also saying.
Yes.
Because it's a report that Erastus actually put out there.
Yes,
so
yes.
We'll be looking at the updates that he has on it, because maybe he has engaged him.
The galamsey thing is worse in this country. You see, Erastus is...
We're not finding solutions?
We are not, because you see, every day Erastus is reporting on only two regions. Just two regions. Ashanti,
there are others that we're not...
Ashanti and Western, and some part of Western, the Wasa area. What is happening in Central region? Eastern region. They are doing it in the full glare of the public. Between Lindado, I mention this every day, and when you, I'm sure
we have videos of that.
In the township of Osino, in the township of Anyinam, they are doing it behind houses. Why? We lost the elections because they said we couldn't manage the galamsey well. President Mahama promised that he would ban the illegal mining. In the 120 promises, when we know that illegal mining is even stand banned in this country already, but he wrote it that I will ban it.
Work.
Oh, but you see, why is Kanashibe still saying that he's disappointed in the president?
Yeah, he wants some drastic decisions
because
taken.
he started this thing in 2017. 2016, he started it. In 2017, he came petition the president, along you guys, the media people. You petitioned the president that the thing is becoming worse. So the president had to put a ban on it. And the president responded. You remember, in 2017, when they said, ban legal small-scale mining, the president responded. Why is the president not responding? But my only problem with Kenashibe and his group is that their obsession on Chamawun to me and Akunta mining. There are a lot of people who have been arrested. Even yesterday, 3 days ago, Erastus is saying that 13 people have been arrested around the Wasa area. Even though he has seen over 500 excavators on the Ayamfuru Diasi Road. But they only arrested people. So you see, my problem is that why is it that all these things are being shown, people are seeing it, but still government is not doing anything about it? You told us that when you come, you will chase after the big fishes. You went and arrested 49 people in an area that you claim that it is Chamawun to me who ordered them to go and do that. Now, Chamawun to me is saying that I have not sent anyone. You've arrested 30 excavators. You arrested 2 pickups, a RAV4 and motorbikes. Someone registered them. It belongs to someone. Look for the person that the things belongs to them so that you prosecute them. You're refusing to do that. You only came, did a press conference. You saw the minister shedding crocodile tears. That day, I came here and told you that he was shedding crocodile tears. What has he been able to do? What is the update on the documentary he showed? Who is guilty? Is it true that when they found that it is the NDC that there are NDC kingpins behind it, that's the reason he's still quiet? Why is Kofi Amabwa, the last minister, quiet on the prosecution of those he arrested around the place that he said they are from Akunta mining? Now, Chamawun to me has sued the government. He said, prosecute me. You only froze his accounts. He said, prosecute me if I am guilty. Why are they still not prosecuting the people? Yeah. Just like Ken Ashibe and his people are saying. But you see, it is not him alone. He has come out to say that in the last 3 years, he has been engaged in reclamation of the land. He is not engaged in illegal mining. For all you know, Dr. Chamawun to me got his license in 2011, 2012 under the NDC. It was later that they found out that he's a politically exposed person, and they started antagonizing him in 2015, seized his excavators and so on. So if someone is guilty, why are you hiding the people behind these places that you have arrested people? President Mahama said he will give amnesty to almost all those who were incarcerated for galamsey because he is looking at the big fishes. Why is it taking them up to 5 months to find out even a single big fish?
Okay, let me go to Richard. Richard, let me have your take on that.
Sincerely, this is not the first time we've been having conversation around this galamsey issue and the work that Erastus has been doing over the years. We would like to commend him for his good work. It's quite a risky work he's doing, looking at the syndicate that surrounds this galamsey operation. His life is quite in danger, but I want to believe that God will keep him safe so he can continue to do his work. Like I said, you see, this galamsey game, it's a robbing Peter to pay Paul activity that is going on. And I keep saying that we cannot, it's not like I'm a pessimist or I don't believe that there can be transformation. But you see, we must be guided by precedent and we must be guided by how we behave over the years. And when I look at how we behave as a country with vested interests, self-seeking individuals who put themselves above the interests of the state, that is why we are where we are now. So, Erastus has made an update that the national security liaison officers. They went to capture some place. There's a registered place. So now, those who have been operating legitimately, obviously they are not safe. Because you see, now they can pick and choose. If your activities deems to be in line with NPP, they can come after you. If they see you to be aligning with the NDC, they give you space to do what? To operate. It is the same thing that happened during the previous administration. Those who are considered to be in alignment with the government of the day are allowed to do their rubbish. Those who are not considered to be aligned with the party, they always come after you. So it is the same thing. So that's why I'm saying that we can talk about the galamsey over and over and over again, but the syndicates that are operating within the galamsey space, they are bigger than all the four of us seated at the studio today. So we can talk, but our talking cannot bring about any solution. That is why I'm saying that we need a radical, revolutionary mindset in order to transform a society like Ghana.
And all these people who have been in government do not have that.
They are not radical. You see, let me tell you, democracy is good, but democracy is not good for emerging countries like us. Why? Our democratically elected people not sitting today and dining with Tuareg of Burkina Faso? Is he not a military leader? Didn't he do a coup? But is it not because he's doing something good that that's why everybody is supporting him?
Say President Mahama, no, our democratic. President Mahama is dining and whining with these military juntas. That's what.
But the point is that
one way they were not dealing with them. Akufo-Addo was not dealing with them.
I'm coming.
He never visited them.
I'm coming.
But Mahama has visited them about 3 times.
My point of the conversation. My point of the conversation is that
President Mahama has visited them 3 times. He's giving them legitimacy.
No, I'm coming. What I'm saying is that he may not be a democratically elected president of Burkina, but because he is doing something right, perhaps that is the reason why maybe His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will want to align with him in order to achieve stability within the region. And don't forget that in Ghana too, most of our foodstuffs, most of our consumables, we depend largely on Burkina Faso.
Not a shame.
So what I'm trying to say to you is that, what I'm trying to say to you is
that didn't start today.
Yes,
this is
what I'm trying to say is that,
what do we buy from them?
What I'm trying to say is that
plant them here?
If you follow the democracy trend, if we follow the democracy trend, and we are not able to do what we call hybrid leadership, where a bit of firmness and strictness and hardcore discipline on your people, and we are doing everything in the name of democracy, you take 1 step forward and you take 2 steps backwards.
Are we going to get that in Alan Chimantin?
Obviously, if Alan was the president by now, there would be a lot of radical revolutionary transformation going on.
But Alan propounded the theory of NATO, and he is a typical example of NATO, nation of talkers.
No, what I'm saying is that, you see, these two group of people, they are taking the country for granted. They believe they believe that it is always going to be them.
And taking decisions.
Yes, it's always going to be there. Do you know that even NPP, as they are in opposition, they are preparing themselves and considering themselves to be the next government in line?
That is true.
They don't see any other person. That's why I'm telling Ghanaians that until we are able to diffuse this mindset of only NPP, NDC has the temerity to lead this nation and lead us transformative way, we are lying. Let's give somebody else the opportunity to do something different. They have been doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm saying to you that this fight against galamsey, with this approach of patting people on the shoulder and dealing with people leniently and doing things that with democracy is this and that, we are going nowhere. Erastus can do all the reportage, he can do all the expose, you can do everything, but like I said, we will take 1 step forward and we'll take 2 steps backward, because it's a syndicate. Let us admit that it's a syndicate. NDC is not made up of saints and angels. NDC was financed by people who put their blood and resources into their campaign. So NDC cannot come and tell me today that we have won power and therefore nobody else has the right to recoup their investment or the money they spend on them. Mahama alone sincerely didn't finance the entire NDC campaign. They solicited funds from people from across the divide. So those who they sought the funding from, they are all taking the pinch of it. So when you tell me that you are fighting this galamsey and you are winning the war with this same approach, arrest, detain people, release them, arrest, detain, release them, security people to go into the site, confiscating equipment, seizing. What is it not the same pattern over the years? So like I was saying to you the last time that until we put in radical measures, radical, and start to punish people, punish them, real punishment, we are not going anywhere.
Okay, and Alan will be the best man to...
Alan is the best for Ghana.
Let me go on Zoom.
And they all know.
Let me go on Zoom. I understand that we've got Erastus over there. Erastus, good morning, my brother, if you can hear me.
Yeah, good morning.
Congratulations to you, well-deserved honors given you by the Otumfuo Osei-Tutu, and we're proud of you. It's a very, very difficult job you've been doing, but we understand that you're doing this for Mother Ghana, and we'll continue to, pat you in the back for all the greatness that you've achieved so far. My brother, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Yesterday we saw a post, and it has to do with a liaison, a security officer who is engaged in some aspect of this whole galamsey that we're trying to, eradicate. Well, what is the update on that? What really happened on that site?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I'll just want to pass a brief comment on what my friend in the studio said, and I want to ask this question: whether Alan does not have financiers, where he's getting his money from. So when he comes, he'll be able to go beyond what he is talking about. Let's depoliticize environment. Let's depoliticize environment. The environment has no political coloration. Whatever happens to it, it beats us all, and we must fight against it. Enforcement must run alongside all the other initiatives that we want to do. You cannot do away with enforcement. There are laws. Laws are meant to be obeyed. How do you enforce laws? If there is no enforcement, you are not arresting people. But the other things must be added, and we'll be able to win this. Let me go to your question. So, Akatachieso, which is in the Adanse North municipality. This is an area where they do a different kind of mining, and that is underground mining. And the history goes way back into the previous administration. Somebody has secured funds to register an underground mine in a small-scale venture. There are two areas. The first one is where they've developed it so well that they are able to go underground. They've fortified the underground tunnels, and they are mining in there. So to me, they are not destroying water bodies, they are not destroying the land on the surface, and they are doing proper mining down there. Now, he has done another cooperative, registered another cooperative mining, which is also underground for the youth in the area. You see, the reason why people have been asking me, why are you delving into somebody's private business? What is your interest? You see, we are talking about best practices. When we meet one, we must share that good story with the people so that they will emulate it, and if
also do better
and spread that on other areas. But we should not kill such initiatives because of politics. Now, this gentleman, when power changed hands, we've had a regional security liaison officer who, I don't know what his interest is in that gentleman's business. They went there in the first place, took over the mine with a suspicion that they are operating illegally. Then they went back, did their checks, and realized that the man has registered the mining company. So he's working there legally. And then subsequently, this regional security liaison officer sends people with pump action guns to take over the mine. I asked him whether these are national security operatives. He says yes. Are they police? Are they military? He says no. They are just national security operatives. For all I know, national security operatives do not use pump action guns. And if you look at the people who have occupied the mine, these are no national security operatives. And how do you, national security apparatus take over somebody's registered mine and then they themselves are mining?
Yes.
I've never heard anything like that in my history covering this sector. So now they are mining. The police went in there and arrested them. The persons who claim to be national security operatives, they arrested them.
Police people were able to arrest them?
Yes, Bekwai police went there, arrested them, and then took the rocks that they've mined so far as exhibit, which is still with the Bekwai police. And after that arrest, they still continue to mount a barrier because the regional security liaison officer says they should take hold of the mine. For what reason, I don't know. Preventing the original owner from entering his mine. And they've been there until I spoke to some security operatives. They went to drive them away. Just yesterday, the liaison officer has sent fresh men with pump action guns to go again and take over the mine. I want to know what interest national security has in the Akatachieso mine. What at all is there? Cool. That is the topic of national interest, that national security apparatus will waste state resources to take over somebody's mine. And mind you, if it's an illegality, I am saying that if it's an illegality, let the Minerals Commission deal with them. But don't take over and ask the people who have taken over, whether they are national security operatives or not, to mine themselves. That is an illegality. And that's the bone of contention. That's why I'm writing that on my page.
For the records, who is this liaison officer we're talking about?
Jabari.
Okay.
The Ashanti Regional Security Liaison Officer.
Great. Beyond the conversations you've had, interactions you've had with him, and the questioning that you've asked in terms of why he's taking over this, has there been any high authority who has commented on this ever since you posted it or spoke about it? Have you had calls from people to ask in government to ask who is this and how they can also help, especially from the Lands Commission ministry?
When I did the post in the initial stages, Mustafa Bande, I should say, yes, called me. And his argument was that there is a political twist to that mine, which I do not know. Oh. And I asked him why we should be considering political interest when somebody has registered his mine and is working legally. How do you, in this era of democracy, go over with national security and take over the mine and start mining? He's saying that in the previous administration, this guy is an MPP guy who took over other people's mines, which I have checked. Well, I have not gotten any confirmation to that. And so once they have taken over, they also want to take over the mine and give it to their NDC youth. That is totally a dastard act. You don't do that. You don't do that, especially with state resources. That if you have a political interest and you have interest in somebody's mine, you go and take over because you think you have power. And since then, he promised that they were going to invite the gentleman. They invited him to national security. They spoke with him. They returned his mine to him only yesterday for them to go back and take over again. Now we have about 10 fully armed men taking over the guy's mine, and they are mining. Can you imagine? National security mining. Who are they mining for? So I think it's wrong. If it happened under the New Patriotic Party, we would have described it as wrong. It cannot happen under the NDC. Those who are in the NDC should stand up and stop that. It's illegal. It's bad. and it's not something we must condone.
Okay. I went through the posts that you made and some of the comments that actually came up. I saw people making reference to foreigners, Chinese, for example, that they probably are the ones who own the concession. Is this owned totally by a Ghanaian, the issue that we're dealing with? Is it a Ghanaian who was involved in this small-scale mining?
From the documents I have seen, it belongs to a Ghanaian, one Michael Owusu, owns the site. And initially, when they arrested the Chinese, they took them to the immigration service. And afterwards, they came back to say that they had documents to be there. Like they legally, their documents permit them to be where they are. And so they returned them so that they can continue whatever they were doing there. My point is this. If you think what they are doing there is illegal, take them to the
right quarters,
Yes, if there's Minerals Commission that will revoke their license and whatever the law says the process should be, take over. If you want to take them to court, take them to court. But don't take over the mine and start mining yourself. When you do that, who are you mining for? Are you mining for President Mahama? Are you mining for the NDC? Are you mining for, is national security now a gold mining entity? That's my question. So why are they there? Why have they besieged the mine now? What are they doing there?
Looking at some of these situations, I know you've been covering this for the longest and all that. Is it still that gloomy? Engineer Kanashigbe has been very worried about it. In fact, he says that we'll risk, fighting or defeating this galamsey fight if we're not able to take some drastic decisions. In your opinion, you see that it's very gloomy as many as we have tried to actually, save the situation?
Well, let me say that some work is being done, and I appreciate it. I condemn where things need to be condemned. I also praise when things are also going well. There have been very good incursions made, especially in the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve, the Tano Anyua Forest Reserve, the Boyne Tano area, the Boyne River Forest Reserves, all located within the Awin municipality, the Samreboy area. If you remember, last year, I think 2023, 2024, I started reporting on what the Akonta Mining Company specifically and other miners have been doing to the Tano River. In fact, these are criminal activities that I've consistently provided evidence to. Nothing has happened to this company until now. The directors of Akonta Mining have not been arrested. They've not been put through any legal action whatsoever. But the IGP has been able to put some men in that area. As far as I'm concerned, they've been able to drive and arrest, confiscate all the equipment lined along the Tano River. Those who were washing directly into the Tano River, they've been arrested. Now the place has been cleared of illegal miners. I'm even thinking that we can start some dredging activities of the tunnel, especially areas where they've been banked, specifically Atala, Uhiampenika villages along the Tano River close to Samreboy. So that place, they are still there. The team is still there. I receive daily updates of what they've been doing. They are spreading their tentacles to forests within that enclave, and I'm happy about it. But you see, there is still a lot to be done. We have not tackled mining on water bodies itself. There are Shamfan machines on the Pra at Chifu Praso, Shamfan machines on the Ankubra, all along the Nzema area. People are mining along the Ankubra and washing directly into it. We have the Ofin is almost gone. If you go to Atumampunua, there are hundreds of Shamfan machines sitting on it and mining. We have not tackled that.
Okay.
We have also not tackled mining in settlements, like what happened in Wasajapa, until we had put it out and consistently impressed upon government to work on it. Now we had the IGP moving in there to arrest them. There's still mining in Osino along the Kumasi-Accra Highway. There's mining in Udumase, there's mining in Akokere, and other towns across the country. So we must really sit up and speed up.
Okay.
We are doing a feet dragging, and I think though we are doing something, it's little as compared to what we need to do.
Okay. Many thanks for joining us this morning, Erastus, and we're grateful. And also, congratulations to you once again.
Thank you.
Great. Let me go on the phone line again and speak to Engineer Ken Ashigbe. He's the convener for the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, and he's been very, very worried about the way we're handling this situation. Engineer, if you can hear me, Doc, good morning. Hello, Doc, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you. Good morning.
Thanks. I'm grateful for your time this morning, Doc.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great. You have championed this. You've been extremely worried about the way we're handling.
It's we, not you.
Well, the Media Commission.
You are part of the coalition as well.
I know. So it's something we've been championing over the years, and we've been very worried about the way we're handling this situation. In fact, you believe that the window to defeating this cause is gradually closing. How dire is this?
Well, the situation is really very dire, but again, I would have to associate myself with Erastus and say that the good thing is that we have a minister currently that has demonstrated without doubt that he's committed to the fight. The new IGP since came has also shown commitment, and we're seeing what we see. The Forest Commission, their new budget, saying the team they are also actually working, and so it is great to see all of these happening. But again, and as I say, the fact that our best chance of defeating Galamsey is the current president. He has legacy to leave, and his talk has been that. But unfortunately, after 2 years, you will start seeing the clamoring for his seat. And so it is very important that all of us, the same way that the Galamseyers haven't seen that the Minister for Land is not relenting, they have also increased the intensity of their mining. We also need to attack this thing with a bit more urgency than we are doing. You know, the president, when he was giving us his 120 days, told us that 7 of the 9 forest reserves that we had lost had been recovered, which means 2 are still, under attack, and we don't have control over that. And definitely for any part of your country that you don't have control over, a state of emergency is important in those places, so that it gives the president extra power that he's able to deal with these issues. The issues of the water bodies that, Erastus mentioned that are currently under attack are also, a major cause of worry. So those water bodies, we could also declare a state of emergency over them. After all, most of those water bodies, there's no fishing going into them. So if you then declare a state of emergency, all those chamfans, you can then clean them up. Anybody who's then seen, you can then deal with the person decisively. So those things are issues that we need to deal with. Do you know that the police commanders in Enchi and then the regional commander in the Western North excavated and specifically pick up that Forestry Commission has seized from some illegal miners, which the Act 995 says that should be confiscated, given to the police till the case is handled. The police have released those ones to the people. We know for a fact that the Forestry Commission has written to the IGP. I pray that the IGP immediately makes sure that the police commanders in those places are interdicted and they are punished for gravely, going against the Minerals and Mining Act. We need to let any of the people who are conniving and abetting with these people, we need to deal with them. It is the reason, again, I associate with Erastus. It is sad that after all the work Erastus did in 2022, the petitions we set against Akonta Mining, for the evidence in 2022, and the new evidence that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the Forestry Commission, the Forestry Commission, the Minerals Commission have provided. Up to now, the IGP that I am commending, he should by now have arrested the directors and the CEOs of Akonta Mining, and make sure that we can get some prosecution happening. It's not enough that licenses have been revoked and accounts have been, dealt with. Another major issue that we also need to deal with. In the same Awin place that Erasmus was talking about, the NDC MP for the Awen community. He's been accused by his traditional authority of being involved in galamsey.
Yeah.
He says no, he's not involved. But we have not seen any open investigations into that. We have petitioned His Excellency the President and the Right Honorable Speaker. It is important that beyond the President acknowledging that he's received it, we are seen to be dealing with that. And it's not only him. You have the NDC constituency chairperson for Axim that has been accused by one of the large-scale miners. And then Erasmus also did a report in Dunko, where the NDC constituency chairperson was also confronting and challenging the military people who had gone there to go and deal with it. Even in the case around that the Jakpa, the town area that Erasmus mentioned, we also had the MP for the area again, almost pleading and intervening, for the people who are doing the illegality. Yes, it is true that work started in the MPP era, and it's good that the IGP has dealt with. But we need to ensure that anybody who is found complicit, we deal with the people so decisively that the politically exposed people, they know that there's no room for them to run.
Doc, are you surprised that after all the things that we have done, we have said, in fact, a government had even said that in 120 days they're going to handle the situation. I don't want to say a simple state of emergency. We've not been able to achieve that yet.
Well, so again, that is definitely one of the pains that we have. That, the NDC, when they were in opposition, sang the same song with us about the state of emergency. And we all realized that it was one of the things that you require.
Absolutely.
That's why, for me, I think that when the president himself was that two of the first land parts this country are completely outside our control. And we have water bodies, as the Rasta tells you, several water bodies that currently also have champan sitting on them. It is very worrying that the state of emergency in those particular areas, we're not asking for state of emergency, blanket state of emergency, but in those particular areas. Do you know that even the Abraham crime in Jerusalem, they have started work, the illegal miners have gone back there and they started work. So it is the reason why when you do a state of emergency, nobody then can go back into those things. And another thing that we need to be doing, we need to militarize the Forestry Commission. We need to give them maximum firepower, give them the training that the Jungle Welfare School will provide for the military, so that they are able to deal with these people on a permanent basis. Because letting the military go and come back, it's not going to be sufficient. And another thing, if you look at all the arrests that are being made, predominantly the foreigners that are in there that conspicuous is the Chinese. So the Chinese and the foreign factor, we cannot take that out. And because of that, it is important that this policy of the Minister for Interior that says that when we arrest people, we deport
that
is very, very retrogressive. And it is against the fight that the Minister for Lands and the rest of them are fighting. And it is important that the Minister for Interior changes his modus operandi and make sure that as Act 995 says, when these people are arrested, we prosecute them, jail them, give them the maximum sentence, and after they serve the sentence, we then can deport them.
All right, Doc. So one other issue, you spoke about the issue of politics and the interference of, some political heads. Now, Erastus mentioned that when he engaged these people, Mustafa Bandi actually saw the post and called him up and said that there's a political twist to this. Are we fighting a losing battle looking at this from that background?
No, you see, the elephant in the room is the politically exposed people. There are two elephants in the room. There's the politically exposed people, and then you have the challenge of, the excavators. Fortunately for us, the excavators, the Minerals Commission under the previous working together with Suma, put together some package that would enable excavators to track. They did a pilot to about 68 excavators, very successful pilot. But unfortunately, it was not, scaled up. And I can imagine that the only reason they did not scale it up is that if they did, it would impact on all of the excavators that are in the forest in the illegality. But fortunately, this government is taking it up. I know for a fact that about 4,000 trackers have been imported And you've also seen that the DVLA CEO is also collaborating with the Minerals Commission CEO. And definitely that would deal with the issue of excavating. So we need to speed that particular one up. But the issue of the politically exposed people, it has to be dealt with. If we don't deal with that, and it is important that nobody in the NDC should attempt to say that anybody is being political. We have been singing the song, since 2016 when the NDC were in power. 2017 when the FPP in power, we've been singing the same song. And today we are singing the same song. For some of us, so far as we are concerned, we don't care who is in power. We don't care whose ass is forward. What we care about is our country, Ghana. And so it is important that we support the NDC when they are doing right. As Erastus said, the places that they deserve praise, we will point it out to them. But the places that are not going in well, we would also point it out. Another example is Act 24, LI 2462.
Yeah.
The president himself was very clear that he was going to revoke. That even the NPP that we accused of having failed abysmally when it came to galamsey, they had a revocation instrument that they were going to take to Parliament. So the president should not be telling us that when Parliament resumes, all they are going to do is amend that LI. It's not enough. It has to be revoked. It's a bad law.
Okay.
And it has to completely go.
Very well. Thank you so much for the time this morning. I'm grateful, Doc. All right, so that's Engineer Doc Ken Ashigbe joining us this morning, convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. And let me get, I'm going to go back to Raymond. And we're trying to see if we can have other conversations. But let me get back to Raymond on that. Raymond, okay, so I understand that Mustafa Bande wants to also pass a comment on this. So as when we're able to get him on the line, we'll speak to him on this issue because his name has come up in this, according to Erastus, submission. So we'll get there. Raymond.
Okay.
Yeah, state of emergency, LI 2462. I mean, we've repeatedly mentioned this. You campaigned on this. You said that we're going to make sure that this thing is out of the way, just so we're able to save our environment. What's happening now?
Okay, so the point must be made very clear that the fight against galamsey is one that is categorically about political will. If you have a regime in place that does not have the political will to deal decisively with the menace of galamsey, there can't be any progress in the fight. Now, you have asked questions about the calls for a state of emergency being declared by the president. The point must also be made that in the run-up to the 2024 campaigns and election, the NDC, as a corporate body, did not have a holding position that in any way suggested that there must be a categorical declaration of a state of emergency. That point must be made very clear. That point must be made. Yes,
it was the NDC who was making those pronouncements.
I am saying that the NDC, as a corporate body, as a political party, who actively participated in the 2024 elections, did not at any point in time have a holding position that suggested in any way that there must be a categorical declaration of a state of emergency. If individuals, if individuals at their own volitions made suggestions or made claims or demanded for a declaration of a state of emergency, please allow me.
So you mean the president did not subscribe to that?
The president,
he was a flag bearer at the time. He didn't subscribe.
Show me anywhere where the president himself, said that there must be a declaration of a state of emergency.
So these were things that
individuals
that the president did not subscribe.
Exactly. It was not the president did not believe in.
You can't hold the president.
You can't. The president cannot, even in the remotest of form, have any form of liability when this matter is being brought on board. That is the point of the matter. The president did not believe in that. He did not call for that. The NDC, as a corporate body, did not call for that. We didn't believe in that.
Even assuming office, he doesn't believe that is
that aside.
It's one of the things we can do to
that aside. Bringing the clarity to this matter, the point must also be forcefully made that we all around this table agree that galamsey is causing extensive problems to our environment, to our people, to our water bodies, to our forest reserves. And so we must all come together around the table to fashion out solutions to dealing decisively with the matter.
And
that is the indication.
The president has no
and that is the indication that the president has given. Erastus, you've spoken to him. Kenneth Asigbe, you've spoken to him. They have all admitted that President John Dramani Mahama has shown a certain commitment, political will and interest in dealing with this matter decisively. That point must be made forcefully.
But isn't it enough?
But did he not say that?
Isn't it enough?
You see,
they didn't say that.
You see, let me say this.
Has he done enough?
Let me say this. I see Awal making some gestures and saying some things. But you see, the point must be made, okay?
Yeah.
That the idea that the NDC government must at all costs bring to a final halt the menace of galamsey within barely 5 months, something the MPP could not do in 8 years, is a preposterous proposition, to say the least.
You think it's not practical?
Now, it is not. It is not. It is not. They have made admissions.
We also know the degree of effect this brings to society,
yes,
right?
Yes, we do know that. They have made concessions that work is ongoing. They can see the commitment of government. Arrests are being made. Equipments are being seized. Sammy boy, you see, the people who have been hiding in those places for the past 8 years and engaging in activities of illegal mining have been evacuated. Along the Tano River and all of those, people who have been engaged in galamsey in those water bodies have been evacuated. Now, the president has given a strong indication that once Parliament reconstitutes, okay, the law that governs minerals and mining in this country, Act 703, is going to be amended such that mining activities,
which we concentrate on the repealing instead of amendment.
No, that is the broader law. Such that hold on. Such that mining activities in our forest reserves, mining activities in our water bodies are going to be categorically banned. Now, he has said that when Parliament reconstitutes, instead of banning the law or revoking the law, the LI 2462, revoking it entirely, let's look at ways to refine it such that it serves its purposes properly.
How do you refine
something that? Please. Once a bill is laid before Parliament, when it reconstitutes, we will see how. But you see, the point must not be missed, okay? We must not miss the point that the government, the NDC government, has demonstrated the political will, has shown that it has what it takes to fight the canker of galamsey in our society, something the NPP for the past 8 years have not been able to do. When they came, he made reference to President Akufo-Addo banning mining activities in 2017. What they did effectively with that was to ban it and then take concessions and share it amongst themselves. We have seen evidence of that in the Frimpong Batting report. We have seen video evidence where key leading members of the NPP saying that the party needed money, and so they needed more concessions and more permits to go and mine illegally in our forest reserves and in our mining bodies. Okay, so he cannot come and sit around the table today and claim holier than that.
Okay, Ray, give me a minute. I told our viewers that we'll be getting on the grounds with regards to the decongestion exercise that is ongoing. So I'll try and see how best we can marry the two conversations so we'll deal with all of them. So let me go on the grounds. My colleague James Aveji is on the grounds. Yesterday, he brought us some update. Today, he's doing the same. So let's see what's been going on. James, if you can hear me.
To the police station for the law to take its course, and so that's the situation here, Ben. Trying to take you to the to-do stretch properly so that we can know what exactly is happening there on the to-do stretch. The road on the to-do stretch is also clear this morning. Drivers are plying the route freely without any interference from the traders. You see this cars here waiting to cross the road, and so this is a to-do stretch, and you see cars moving towards the to-do area and others coming from the to-do area to the traffic lights here. And it is free flowing traffic this morning here at the Kantamanto intersection here in Accra, Ben.
That's the Kantamanto and Tudu that you're seeing over there. And we're having some conversation in the studio, and we're all looking at it and seeing the difference that this has made. Hitherto, you will not really see the kind of movement that you're seeing right now on your screens. And I'm sure most of you who have been there would attest to the fact that there has been some changes. But the question still remains if we're able to sustain this. And that is the major concern when it comes to this. Let me come back to the studio. Let me go to Richard. I'll come back to you. Wow, Rich.
Yeah.
Are you not happy to see this? You said that. This is day 2. It looks like we're getting somewhere.
Like I said, this is a one-day wonder.
But it's 2 days now.
Oh my God! We've had it done 1 week. We've had it done 2 months.
The last 20 years, according to research by the Joy News Desk, the last 20 years or so, we've had this decongestion exercise, 10 of them. And guess what? They've all been very unsuccessful. 10 major decongestion exercises the last 20 years, they all have been unsuccessful.
You see, let me tell you something. The fundamentals of every country is how you bring the people up, how you raise your next generation. You see, it's a level. A generation fizzles out, another one steps in, another one steps in. But if you study Ghana very well, you realize that we are not gravitating toward building a society of disciplined people. It is the same approach, and we are just moving on the same level. That is the way. So if you realize, if you notice how we are even bringing up our kids in school and all those things, we don't instill discipline even in the kids from kindergarten throughout to secondary, even into the university. Okay? This issue of environmental consciousness and awareness and all this, it must be inculcated in the kids from the early stage. That's how China developed. That's how Singapore developed. That's how Malaysia developed, because they knew very well that a generation was there that wasn't doing well, and they need to fill in a gap, okay? So they quickly redirected their educational policies and programs and inculcated in the young ones how to be disciplined individuals. Rwanda. What didn't happen in Rwanda? Rwanda, they not just blacks like us. Go to Kigali and see how it is. It is not because of anything extraordinary. It is because of the enforced discipline. Okay?
Yeah.
Paul Kagame virtually has to put in place an enforced discipline. So that's what I'm saying to you, that when you have a country like this, see, that is the police, central police.
Yeah,
front.
this place
Wow.
very well.
I know that, but I'm telling you that, you see, this is in the morning. This is in the morning.
Yeah.
I wish that by 5 o'clock in the evening, the camera should go back there and see whether by 5 p.m. in the evening, people are not there.
They will be there.
They will be there.
They will be there.
Yes, but
Because KMG, the city guards. The city guard,
they are going to be there the whole
that's
day.
what Awal is saying, that what we are all saying, that the city guard, who pays them? Are they on government payroll or they are on assembly's payroll? They are on assembly's payroll. They are not on government payroll.
And the salary is how much?
And the salary is how much? I get to my point. And some of these people, too, when they go on the street and they confiscate the thing, some pass back, and then by virtue of our own way of corruption, they go back and release everything. So I am not a pessimist. But it is because of precedent and how it has happened in the past. That is why I am still holding that position that until, let's say, as a budgetary allocation, I want to see a systematic strategy plan, okay? That is the short-term plan to tackling this.
We're dedicating so amount of...
We are dedicating so and so amount to this. We are training this quantum of people, and we are deploying them. This is the deployment chart. This quantity is going to be here in Accra Central. These are going to be in Medina. These are going to be all the congested prone areas, okay? So if at least they are 100 or 200 in number, we know that there is a government budgetary allocation to fighting this. But if you leave it entirely to the assemblies, okay, to depend on their IGF to do it, they cannot sustain it. Okay, and then again, we come back to say that there is poverty everywhere in this country. Our mothers, our sisters who go there to sell, it is because of There's nothing for them to do.
They need to make money.
There's nothing for them. If assuming there's a garment industry, okay, that you can train all these people to be working, so go to Bangladesh. There is nothing in Bangladesh. But Bangladesh is noted for garment. Okay, all the clothes they wear in US and everything, they are from Bangladesh. Okay, and to most of your women like this, and at this national apprenticeship program and all these things, there should be a deliberate tailored program that suggests that we are moving all these people from here, putting them into other productive means, okay? But they are your citizens. How do you take them off the street and leave them aloof? How are they going to survive? Is it not the responsibility of the state to make sure that every citizen is well fed?
Yeah.
And every citizen has something to do, but Ghana has become a country of survival of the fittest. If you don't find your way out, you will die in poverty and you'll be buried in poverty.
Okay. I don't know how difficult this is, but it looks like this is progressive, if you ask me. I'm sure we all have issues.
Progressive is progressive.
Let me get some messages.
This is temporary progress.
Oh, no. I'm excited seeing what we're saying right now.
Okay.
Can I get some messages?
We've been to Cantamanto before. When
Okay, while I try to get some messages.
What I'm saying is that if you check, indeed there is progress compared to maybe just last week. Yes, because you see, this is a place I buy books. There is there's a bookshop over there.
So you frequent there?
Yes. So when you move from this place, from Adabraka, the NDC junction, right, to Cocoa Board where I used to go and park, because you can't just drive over here.
Yeah.
So it will take you like 30 minutes now to even get there, from just the junction that you go to that goes to the NDC headquarters to just Cocoa Board can take you 30 minutes.
More than sometimes.
You understand? Sometimes more than that. Then you park. Then you walk towards this place. The bookshop is around the one of the banks there. Just on this. Yes, just on this stretch. So it will take you like 15, 20 minutes to even walk there, because the human traffic and so on. So yes, it's true that we want the space so that I can even drive there and go and park and even buy the book.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when you move them, where are they going? That is the question. Because you see, I was talking to a lawyer and he told us that. He was telling me that when you go and occupy a space for 10 years, you can even lay claims to that space if no one has ever been there to tell you anything. So if these people have been there for the last 20 years, you think they should just live like that? It is not possible. The sustainability of it is that getting a proper place for them and doing enforcement. But we can't go the Kigali way. Because you see, the man is ruling the country with iron fist.
That's what we need in Ghana.
But you cannot come here and speak, because in Kigali you can't be speaking freely like this. You can even vanish. No. So you see, sometimes we will want to emulate and see what people are doing. Why can't we emulate places like Dubai? You go to Dubai, it's a free country where it will be difficult for you to see even someone, even human being, crossing traffic. Yeah. Even if the thing is still red and there is no car on the way, you still see people waiting. We can learn from them. They were not really doing it, but they were doing it to cameras. If you do that, you can be arrested easily.
You want to do that to cameras here?
No, but we have installed over 10,000 cameras. Yesterday, I met one of the communicators. He's an NDC communicator. He confessed to me that he went and crossed traffic around, he jumped traffic around La Paz. After jumping traffic, the police chased him with a motorbike. And he was arguing, I didn't jump. Then he called the Central Command. They sent the video for him on the phone, and he showed it to him. Then you jumped it.
So it's possible, it works.
You understand? So it works. That is the reason. You remember, we installed 10,000 cameras across the country. I hope and pray that the Interior Minister continues that. You remember, it's part of our manifesto to install 50,000 in addition, so that at least these places will be safe. Today, on all the traffic lights, if there is anything The only thing is that you go to the central command, they'll pick you.
You get the footage from there.
You get the footage.
And that's an evidence to prosecute whoever.
Yes.
Anyway, this one says, good morning to you. Traders in Accra often work in informal markets where they sell essential goods to support their families. The seizure of their products disrupt their daily operations and can lead to significant financial loss. The authorities must recognize that these small-scale traders contribute to the economy in substantial ways, generating income and providing employment. For instance, a 2022 study indicated that informal markets in Accra account for around 40% of the city's employment. Thus, rather than seizing their goods, authorities should explore alternative strategies that facilitate both the decongestion and the continued operation of these traders. Aaron Babakoko, Commissar in Accra, sent in that one. Let me go to Musa Abato in our Swansea. It says, Accra decongestion is welcome new. However, it must be done in all sincerity. Nonetheless, Dr. Baumia should be ashamed of himself for trying to downplay the remarkable city appreciation we are witnessing and deny President Mahama the credit that he rightfully deserves. It takes truly visionary leader to make such bold and prudent economic decisions, something we've never seen at this level in Ghana's history. Let's give credit where it's due and stop twisting facts for political convenience. He says, and well, did you have to go there? Anyway, good morning, KMJ. Please, prior to decongestion issues, in exception of Edem Ray, the rest of your panelists are communicating nothing but KMJ, should it be in a certain serious jurisdiction? While and his NPP shouldn't have been talking about anything porous in this country, most especially on galamsey. Please tell them I need his contact, please. Banini Moses Jr. inside Keta. Adam is still here, so he will figure it out for you. Now, good morning. I am Eben from Kwabenya. Decongestion of our cities has been with us for so many years, but it doesn't last due to political influences. I would with mayors of big cities to be fair this time around to sustain it so there wouldn't be traffic in towns. Regards to Haji Hawa of GRA. Let me go to this one over here. And he says, good morning, KMJ, and good morning to your panelists. It saddens my heart when people try to play the devil's advocate by criticizing everything that this government is trying to do. Instead of coming up with ideas of how to sustain the decongestion exercise by the Accra mayor, they are sitting there condemning it. If the past government had taken bold decision to do something like this, wouldn't things have been easier now? If it's not our party, then it won't succeed, really. It is time we grow and think about party lines and put the country first. Julian, in Copetown, Julian, the former regional minister started this, so he continued from where other people started and it didn't work. Don't forget that. From Gasti Man in Brekum, he says that if our laws are working and our presidents are serious in cracking the whip of our security agencies, there would be no need for a whole regional minister or mayor in the market place instructing them to do the right thing. This won't happen in any civilized country. And because of political capital, you see these ministers and mayors with cameras all around them. This is just a media gimmick, and these traders would return soon. These populism is very shameful. Okay, so he's actually thinking that it is not even good for a mayor to be following these people. Exactly. Be there. Let the
work is to
let the people go without the mayor and see what. You see, the mayor also
go with the police. When you go with the police can go with the city guards.
Yesterday, somebody was mentioning that they had military people. Those are I am thinking they are trying to protect the mayor. Yes, and not necessarily.
They are just like two people following.
Exactly. Yeah. This one says, "Good morning, KMJ. My question is this morning. My question this morning is very simple. Is there any political party in Ghana called Movement for Change? Oh, yes, there is. The gaslighting in this country is becoming too much. Let's be realistic and truthful to ourselves as a nation. Just look at the way the academia has become so much politically biased that instead of being objective on national issues, they choose to present their political biases for their own personal interests." Amino in Sawum sent in that one. Amino, there's movement. There's movement.
Movement for Change is not a registered political party. It's just a movement. Yes.
No, we are.
but these are people.
It's not a registered political party.
But they have a flag bearer who can actually become a president.
No, they came together. It's a conglomeration of people coming together.
So Alan couldn't have been a
for
president.
elections. No, for elections. After the elections, it still remain a movement for change, just the people there, but not a political party. We have 28 registered political parties in this country. Movement for change is not one of them.
And Richard,
They are now exploring me.
Richard, so what was the journey on becoming the presidency and all that?
No, you see, Alan, after he break away from the NPP, he formed an alliance. Yes, he formed an alliance. So we contested the election based on the formation of the alliance as an independent candidate. Yes, but like he said, the movement was just a vehicle which he stood on to contest. But as we speak currently, the processes are all underway to
become a political party.
Formalize it.
It's still going to be the same movement for change?
No, there'll still be movement in there. I don't want to put, we have the name already. Okay. The movement is still in there, but we are going to add some flesh to it. And then we want to make it.
But do you have the luxury of time?
The luxury of time?
Yes.
You see, let me tell you, there is nothing cast in stone. So
you can do this in the last 1 year and be able to win elections?
Of course, you see.
You think it's possible?
Of course,
3 months,
of course.
Register for
of course.
No, I know, but you have a lot of work to do.
Let me tell you.
After registering,
Alan has disappointed a lot of people, including the media people who gave them the opportunity. Look, if you have ever heard in the history of this country that a certain cheddar will come without communicators, without cars around in the regions, will beat Alan in any election. You will never believe it. Alan couldn't even make 35,000 votes across the country with all the communicators on TV and radio, with all the pickups. Cheda didn't have pickups.
Cheda had no prior affiliation. Okay.
That is the thing that will even help Alan.
You had an upper hand because
you had an upper hand.
You had left a political party that was as powerful as the NPP.
Let me tell you.
Communicators.
The perception people had towards NPP. You realize that at a point in time, NPP was never in the good books of the people of Ghana. Okay.
Within that period.
Within that period.
Alan breaks
I led Alan's campaign. I led Alan's campaign in voter region, for instance. Okay. There are places you go, in as much as they like him in person as Alan, they feel like voting for Alan is equal as voting for NPP.
You were there attacking NPP.
No. Alan never attacked.
But you were independent.
You were there attacking.
That's why I'm saying to you that. The people considered Alan to still be part of NPP.
That means that the breakaway was not successful.
No, the breakaway. No.
Based on the breakaway, was not strong enough for the people to believe that. Indeed, he was part of us, but he's not.
The timing was short, and he needed to do rebranding. Okay, and disassociate himself with NDC and NPP and the failure.
He didn't have time.
He didn't have time.
It's not at the same time. I'm saying
that Cheda
came just barely less than a year.
Very short too.
No, if you look at political financing, political party financing, or financing a campaign to become a president, it's capital intensive. Okay, Cheda had the resources wherever he got it from. Nobody knows.
Alan got more resources than
Cheda.
Alan had.
Even if you look at outdoor branding, look at outdoor visibility. Look at outdoor visibility.
All right.
Cheda was everywhere on billboards. Cheda was everywhere.
How many people did he put on radio and TV?
No. That's well, let me go.
How many billboards did he do?
When Alan started his politics,
how many billboards didn't Cheda do?
Dankwa Club. Cheda was around 9 years.
No, I'm saying that
such a person comes with all the resources and all the
he had the resources,
top radio
and then he had the youth
for him. Did he even get 35,000?
This one says
there's no single constituency that Alan even got more than 10 votes.
Hold on. This one says KMJ. No. Hold on. His Excellency John Mahama has done well and continues to do well, but I'm not enthused about his government's handling of the illegal mining menace until the president declares a state of emergency on galamsey in forest reserves Times and water bodies as Mahama himself demanded from Akufo-Addo. I am not an NDC member or sympathizer, but I voted for Mahama. Good morning, dear champion sent in that. Let me go to this one. It says, good morning, the handsome and gentle KMJ. Sometimes some of us feel sad if those who have the opportunity to be on TV said to speak in support of the mayor's initiative and deter the recalcitrant traders. They are rather indirectly empowering them to come back in the shortest time. These kind of voices are also part of the problem. I'm David from Adenta. David, good to read from you. This one over here says, good morning, sir. JDM is not the first to deal with military rulers in Africa. President Kufuor was a close friend of General Yandema of Togo and even took part in the 34th anniversary of the coup that brought him to power. Kufuor attended the coup anniversary with his chief of staff, Jacob Echebilamte, and a military contingent on January 15, 2001. A week after taking office, Ghana Web 2001 has that story. Those who live in glass house must throw stones, must not throw stones, you mean. How can they who overthrow Nkrumah give us moral lessons on coup d'etat? Now, good morning. I want to urge the mayor to be firm about the decongestion exercise he has just started. As we know, it's going to be tough exercise because the traders out there are too rebellious, and he must put in more and more efforts to stop the hawkers from our roads and leave a good legacy. Bigent collections from Kwabinya sent in that. Let me go to this one, and it says that. Okay. This one says, Ghana has lost the battle. Everything is about the lawlessness in every place. Look at the hawkers flooding. People will defend building on waterways. Go for Ghana ID cards. They ask you 300 Ghana cedis bribe. We are not serious. Okay, let me go to this one over here and see who is speaking. Says, good morning, KMJ. You have a baby with sharp teeth in your studio today. In the person of Raymond.
Who is that?
And doesn't keep popping up. Okay, this will be the last one, and then we'll continue. This one says, good morning, KMJ. We've watched on for quite too long on galamsey, and if we still hear Mustafa Bani confirms they are aware as government and party NDC, the activity of Ashanti security officers is worrying and very disappointed. If it's true. Please, NDC, take off your hands from galamsey and concentrate on resetting the country. Stephen Opoku in Saki Michelle Camp is sent in.
Honestly,
let me move swiftly to James to give us some updates. When I get James, I'm going to put him on. But let me come back.
Honestly, KMJ, I just did a quick check, just my memory, to know who had occupied the Ashanti Regional Security Liaison Office. The first person was in my, like my prime, as I know.
Yeah.
The first person was Mr. Kiki Mafo under Mills Mahama. He even started under Kufuor. Kufuor didn't change him. Mills came and he didn't change him. He retired. After his retirement, a certain Enokinsia, who is an outsider who had never contested any elections before, also took over. At a point in time, he antagonized Aisha Juan to the extent that he was removed in 2016. You remember last week I was here talking about
we mentioned that. Yeah.
With Fusaini Donko, who was a DC there. Then he was removed. After his removal, the place was just there until they lost the elections. When we came in for 8 years, it was DCOP Opare Ado, a former regional commander, who took over for 8 years. Now, you brought in Captain Retired Jabari, who contested elections and is the sitting first vice chairman for Ashanti region. This is the first time a politically exposed person is given that position. So, if the chairman for Yinahini is doing galamsey, how can someone you went and solicited for his vote, how can you prevent that person from working?
Okay.
That is the problem. If President Mahama wants the thing to really end in Ashanti region, he should change Captain Jabari.
Okay, let me go on the grounds. James of the G is on the grounds and it's still a decongestion exercise. James, if you can hear me. Hello, James, are you there?
But it's true, if you appoint someone with that background, it will look like...
All right, so we're still trying to connect with James. James, if you can hear me, I can hear you, but if you can hear me, please go ahead. What can you report? What's new over there? Do we have the mayor still on the grounds today?
Elected officer.
Well, KMJ, today is supposed to be day 2 of the exercise. We arrived at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly at about 6 a.m., 6:02 a.m. exactly, anticipating for the exercise to begin. We were informed by the Director of Operations that the mayor himself is already on the grounds at around the railway area, got there, and we had another information that he's still coming to town. And so as we speak, we cannot confirm if the exercise has officially begun. What we are doing is our independent check of the situation at the places we've been to yesterday, so far, to see the level of compliance this morning, a day after what happened yesterday. Just a quick recap of yesterday. We've started from the Kimbo traffic light through the Kimbo Road to, the Tudu area here, and then we went towards Mokola to the Rollins Park and towards Kantamanto, all the way to the railway area to Circle, and then the day was terminated at Kaneshi Market and traffic light, where the mayor interacted with the traders and urging them to park their things off the road. Yesterday, generally, there have been levels of compliance. The enforcement yesterday was to make sure that the traders who mount their wares on the pavement get them off the pavement in order to allow pedestrians to use the pavement while vehicles use the road. This morning, we have been to the Tudu traffic light, the Kimbo traffic light, and the Kantamanto intersection, which is standing right behind me. There has been the enforcement of what we saw yesterday. The road has been clear for both vehicular and human traffic to flow from Circle to Adabraka to Kingsway, all the way to the intersection has been free to traffic, as well as towards the UTC area and the Accra Brewery areas have all been free. Where I am standing now is the Tudu traffic light, or the Tudu intersection, where the road behind me leads all the way to the Kantamanto intersection, where we've been to earlier. You see behind me, the road is clear of traders. The pavement on which I am standing now while reporting, days earlier would have been occupied to the brim by the traders who set up their wares and selling to the general public. But this morning, the pavement is clear. The only challenge is that the pedestrians are still finding it difficult to use the pavement. I'm sure they are used to walking on the shoulders of the main road together with cars. And so it may take them a few days or some level of enforcement to insist on them to use the pavement before they come back to using the pavement. But what we are seeing here today is that the road is clear. You see cars coming in without any interference from traders.
Okay.
A number of the pedestrians are still using the pavement, while some are still using the shoulder of the road. If we can pan to the intersection properly, the road moving towards the Tudu station, Lorry station, as well as Mokola, is also free. All the way the other side to the Kimbo traffic light is also free for traffic to flow. And so that's the situation here this morning.
Okay.
Traders are keeping to the pavement while cars are moving freely on the traffic here in Accra. That's the situation here, KM.
James, before you go, the traders themselves, the people who have been cleared off the street, who are walking around, are they excited? Are they happy about the way things are happening now and how, they're also going about their business?
It has been a mixed feeling from yesterday. A number of them hold a position that they've been subjected to using only the pavement is affecting their business. In fact, some of them tell me that there are particular spots on the road where their usual customers used to spot them. And so the fear from yesterday is that they would, their customers may not be able to locate them in order to buy from them, which would affect their businesses. for some of them, in fact, I spoke to a gentleman around the Rollins Park area who told me categorically that he particularly is happy about this. His words, his exact words are that day traders are stubborn. And so sometimes they need some of this level of enforcement to help them to comply with the rules and the regulations. And so it has been a mixed feeling from yesterday. This morning, those that I spoke to before we came on set, some of them are still insisting that they would want to go back to the road. I wish I could speak to some of the drivers to know what they think of
okay, James,
the traffic
James,
today.
James,
Good morning.
Hello, James.
How is it going?
Wow.
Yes, KMJ.
No, well, if you can talk to him, go ahead. But I was saying that I was going to come back to you for us to do that exercise. But if that person is willing to talk, we can do him quickly and then we'll move on.
Well, the traffic has started flowing, and so I'm not sure it will be convenient.
All right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to you again so we can have that exercise.
It is free-flowing traffic.
All right, thank you. That's James Aveji, my colleague in the Central Business District, giving us that report on what has been happening with regards to the decongestion. Yesterday, it started, continues today. We're still hoping to have the mayor on the grounds, or as he confirmed, we've not had the mayor on the grounds yet, but there's been some level of compliance, and that's what matters the most. Anyway, we're going to get back to the conversation of galamsey. Now, Mustafa Bande wants to react to some of the issues that Erastus raised. And so he's going to be joining me on Zoom if he's already there. Mustafa Bande, good morning, if you can hear me.
Good morning.
All right, I'm grateful for your time this morning here on the show. We had a conversation with regards to galamsey. Erastus was on. He made an update yesterday that we wanted to probe further, and he stated that some of the conversations that have come up in terms of the concession, and then you gave him, he stated that you gave him a call when he made that publication. And so what do you react to those very issues?
Thank you very much. And you're looking handsome, though.
Thank you. I want to be like you.
I know West you.
I know. You're an African man. Yeah, I know that.
But interestingly, I was a bit surprised when my attention was drawn to the report that my brother Erasmus has filed. When this story came up, he first went to Facebook to make a publication to the extent that national security was involved and taking over a concession and all of that. So I cross-checked and realized that the narrative he gave does not entirely reflect the reality on the ground. So I did call him and said, look, I think that you have become an actor, not just a journalist, when it comes to environmental protection and the fight against illegal mining. And so when you have gotten some of these stories, it's important that you first, once it involves national security, you make a call to find out if somebody is using national security's image or name or operating may not have gotten the approval of the national security authorities and all of that. Because we are a government and people do.
Okay, so I think we're having issues with the connection, and so we'll try and see if we can connect with him again. That was Mustafa Bande. He's a seasoned politician and strategist. He's also the Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency. Reacting to the issue of galamsey, Erastus made mention of a call that he placed to him when he put up that post, and he wants to react to it. So as and when we're able to reconnect with him again, we'll put him on.
Richard. I want to clear something that, sincerely speaking, none of us is against the decongestion exercise. Me, for once, I'm not against. My office is in Adabraka. I'm on the 3rd floor of NCR office complex, just next to Francophone, very next to Francophone. So I sit at the top there. I see the congestion in Accra. Myself, even from my office, I want to buy something in Accra. I have to walk. So sincerely, we are all for it. All for it.
So you're a pessimist for a reason.
All for it. I don't want people, especially the NDC folks out there, to misconstrue it to suggest that we are encouraging them to go back or we are against it. All we are asking for is sustainability, a lasting solution to it. Period.
In that myself too. You know, when you even asked me, I said I just don't want to sound pessimistic because I believe that something can happen. I still believe in change and a very good change.
Yeah.
So, but I said that the thing is that you cannot just tell them go, and at the end of the day, you don't give them a better place or a better means of livelihood. They will still return. And if you try to charge them, some of them will even go to jail. Look at the woman. When he was filing the report, there was a woman holding some shirts at his back.
Yeah.
That woman, the shirt is like 10 cedis, 15 cedis and so. So if you charge her 2,000 cedis, how can she pay? She would rather go to jail.
So Adam, let me. Mustafa is back. I'll come back to you when we return. Let me try and conclude with them, and then I'll come back to you, Adam. Mustafa, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry, we lost you. We lost you over there. Sorry.
Yeah, so when I told him, when I elected him, he agreed that indeed he should have made some contact to understand what the issues are. Fast forward, Erastus called me, I think after a week, and said he needed to get updates of how we are handling that matter.
Yeah.
At the back of this conversation, I presumed that he had gotten to know that it was not national security directly involved, but it has issue of, party disagreements with other people, individuals from the NDC. And other party involved. I'm told that the history is that when MPP took over, they used the galamsey and all of that to drive away persons who were mining there before and took over in 2016. And that the NDC folks in that constituency also believe that once their government have come, they were also going to take over. But you will recall that now.
So we're still having issues with the internet connectivity. I must also mention that he's currently not in the country. I'm sure when we're able to have a better connection, we'll be able to speak to me. Erastus is on the other side. Erastus, I don't know if you can really make, logical conclusions from what he has said because of where he's gotten to, and we're not being able to really establish much of the conversation. But so far, what he has said, what is your reaction to it?
I am highly surprised and shocked that Mustafa Bande plays politics with the who is the mine registered? Is it registered to the NDC? Is it registered to the NDC? Somebody has gotten a plan. It is a mother's program which has turned it a mine, and he has gone through the process to register it with the Minerals Commission. He has shown you documents indicating that the mine belongs to him. And then you say, despite all this, I will still take over your mine. That is what is happening there. When he called me, he makes it emphatically clear that he is a political person. And that there is a history to this whole thing. That when FPP was in power, this guy mined, and so once NDC has come, his voice must also benefit. But my point is that you cannot use national security apparatus to intimidate somebody and take over what is rightly belongs to the person. So if, as a media house, we defend everybody, if power had changed hands today and Mustafa Bande has a mining site which has been registered, and MPP people come and say we are taking over his mine, and he comes to multimedia to complain, is he saying that we should stand aloof and say that this is politics to allow you to do your own thing? Who does that? And when he says that what is happening there has nothing to do with national security.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to.
The conversation he had with me, he confirmed that national security was the one who asked the people to stay there. Even Jabari, the regional security liaison officer, confirmed to me, and I have the recordings of those conversations, that indeed they placed men in the mine. And I asked him whether they are policemen or military men. He said they are national security operatives. In fact, those that he said were national security operatives were arrested by the police, the Bekwai police. And when they arrested them, they seized sacks of rocks that they have mined. So how come that now we have a regional security liaison officer who has gone amok and is taking over mining companies and asking people to go there and mine? How is that lawful?
He said that you called him a week later for an update. I'm not too sure what the update was because he couldn't complete it.
He is the one who called me. And
not the other way around.
I gave me an assurance that they were going to sort it out and they were going to invite the guy to come with his papers to national security. And I understand he has done that. And that's how come they gave him back his mind. How come that yesterday they sent men again there, and I can show you a video of one of their security vehicles going to the site. So how they have taken over again? So what is the guy's time now? And I want to ask, if he claims that national security has nothing to do with those who are besieging the mine now, who are holding arms and besieging the mine now, then I think it will be proper for the police to arrest him.
Interesting. Unfortunately, we couldn't have him continue with the conversation because the network connection is not really helping us. But Erastus, thanks for the update once again. If anything comes up, we'll definitely be reaching out to you again. We're grateful this morning, my brother.
Thank you very, very much, my brother.
Great. All right, that's my colleague Erastus Saredonko over there speaking on the issue. Unfortunately, we're not able to have Mustafa throughout the conversation because the connection is not really good. He's not in the country at the moment, and so we're hoping that we could have done this with him via Zoom, but unfortunately, we couldn't complete that.
What is Locus calling Erastus when it's national security issue? He doesn't work with the national security. He's not a national security coordinator. He's not a deputy coordinator for national security.
He's the director of operations.
Operations at the office of the president.
He can engage and put some clarity.
The allegations are that national security has taken over, and Erastus has mentioned the regional security liaison officer who doesn't work under Mustafa Gwandi. He works under Osman. Who is the national security coordinator? Why is Mustafa Gwandi calling? You people must call him to order.
Adam, let me have. I think that I've been a bit unfair to you. Let me have your take on that.
Problems for you.
Yes. So the point must be made very clear.
Yeah.
That Mustafa Gwandi is Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency.
Yeah.
The point also is that it is part of the President's broader aspiration and commitment to the people of Ghana that the issue that has to do with galamsey must come to a stop.
And the officers
that is,
charged.
please allow me. And so,
allow them to flow,
and so, if there are mishappenings, okay, in respect of galamsey, and in respect of people who are working in this government, in relation to galamsey anyway, the Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency has every locus to want to inquire and make an inquest into what is happening down there. And so, where is the argument?
What is from Ashanti?
Where is the argument that he didn't have any locus? He has every locus to ensure that the President's commitment to the people of Ghana is not reneged upon by the people who are serving down there. And so he has all the...
He didn't have to be in that department where he said...
You see, we cannot belabor the point. It is a clear matter of a political issue. That is the truth of the matter. The pit in question, okay, was mined out by Anglo Gold and was released in 2016. When MPP took over in 2017, they took their people there to go and mine.
And the NDC also takes over and it's also doing the same thing.
Which
please, allow me.
Anglogo doesn't have possession around that area.
Oh, please, allow me.
No, he shouldn't be putting out force. He doesn't even understand. Do you know the terrain?
Oh, please.
Anglogo don't mine over there.
Did I say they are mining over there?
Finish. Go ahead.
Did I say Anglogo is mining over there?
He said it's a pit
mined out pit. It's English.
That's not correct.
It is English.
When you mention Anglogo is nowhere close to that.
Allow me. Let him establish that point.
Why are you interjecting?
No, go ahead. Edem, go ahead.
Being a nuisance on the program.
No.
So the point is this. When MPP took over in 2017, okay, they took their people down into the pits to go and mine there. So now that NDC is in power,
they are also doing the same thing.
No, there is a certain section, okay, or faction that believe that because their party is in power, they should go and mine there. But the point is clear. The president has zero tolerance for any act of illegal mining anywhere. Whether or not you are NDC.
These are your people. Jabari West for the president.
Listen. Whether or not you are NDC or whether or not you voted for President Mahama in the 2024 election does not give you a warrant. It is not in any way a sanction for you to go and engage in illegal mining activities that degrade our forest reserves or our natural resources. It is that simple. And so, from whatever quarters that we need to intervene to make sure that the issue is rooted out, we will do that and make sure that illegal mining activities come to a halt. It's that simple.
All right, it's that simple. That will be our closing comments for this morning here on the show. I must say a big thank you to the gentleman for joining me this morning. Awal Mohammed joined us this morning. He's representing the NPP. And also Richard Suma joining us. We're hoping that we get to have the party before the election.
Oh, yeah. No, very Within a few days, we are going to become one of the most attractive.
Okay. let me go back to let me go back to the decongestion exercise. I understand that there's some scuffle somewhere that we need to get clarity on. James is still there. James. All right, so I'm not able to get James over there, but once again, thank you so much for coming. And a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, folks, Papa Pafie, Candice Kedisi, Franco Trading Enterprise brought you Newsflash this morning.